Times. It's Dark Angel's Journey, and I'm Shakira. So I figured I'd do my morning market um, update. Well, not really a market update, but like my potential trade entries. So if that sounds like a good time, let's get started. Hopefully, this shouldn't take super long because the market is super slow. But first things first, as always, best to check the news, see if there's anything that might mess with the price today. And so let's jump into a quick review of what's going on in the market. If I'm looking up, I'm looking at my second screen, and don't worry, I'm totally focused on you. All right. And Kitty wants his breakfast, so definitely have to keep it short. Anyway, so let's jump right in, okay? So as we can see, Bitcoin is super boring, and so is Ethereum. But anyway, what news can we expect that might maybe move the price today? So usually anything in red, that's in Germany. Um, for the US, we've got Bullard speaking this morning at 8 a.m. And then 8:30, Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, that's in red. That might be a thing. Unemployment claims, I think this part's people are gonna be looking at it pretty closely because it's what the Fed's using to basically justify consistently keeping raising the rates because unemployment's not looking terrible. Fascinating is that, right? How fascinating is that? The fact that people have to be unemployed for the Fed to feel like, oh, well, yeah, a recession is really here and therefore we need to do something about it. Hmm, weird. Anyway, and then of course the whole FTX thing is still coming in hot. Looks like the metaverse is raising funds and FTX is still going nuts. I guess other exchanges are potentially going under BlockFi, Genesis, and Gemini. So as always, guys, if you have your coins in certain places, might be a good idea to, I don't know, take them off. If you're trading, maybe you just leave what you're using to trade on those exchanges and call it a day. Hmm? I mean, if you're like me and you got burned with Voyager, and fun fact, I had COVID that week that Voyager was going down. So for the first time in I don't know how long, I was just sleeping and I wasn't listening to any news or crypto or anything. So I had no idea. And when I finally like came out of that weird stupor, I sadly was locked in with the Voyager drama. So that was a big learning lesson for me. So like when the FTX thing came out and I saw an alert, I was like, okay, because I would have been caught in that pool as well. So I hope everybody else got that opportunity to take their money and their crypto off of FTX. And if you didn't, my thoughts are with you because goodness knows. But BitGet it has like a $5 million fund to help folks who got hit with FTX. So I'll drop a link below from the email message that I got. All right. So I expect that with all these other exchanges dropping, potentially price might go down. But I think for today, the unemployment claims might be a thing that might be causing issues. Anything else coming out this week? Nothing in big red. Um, Home sales for the US. Yeah, so I think unemployment claims and whatever Bullard says might be a thing. All right, in the meantime, let's see this beautiful, super stagnant market that we're sitting in right now. So here's what I was thinking last night. I'll have to go down to lower time frames to make this make any kind of sense, right? So we are sideways. Basically just been bouncing between this SR area and this one. So my thoughts is something like this, right? And I was asleep last night when this rolled in. But let's see. So we've come down and we've tested this area. We haven't closed anything below this area. We've just made like a higher low. So my potential, and this was my last night. Let me take that off because I'm no longer thinking this. Because we have this supply area, this breaker block. So I was like, okay, we're coming down into it. And I do need to adjust my fibby. So right now on the 15 minute, we've made, which is like we've made this natural supply area. So let's just call it that. So we've made this natural supply area, and there's a potential if price wants to bounce from it to just fall again. So I'm just marking off this. Most of this came to fruition, but not all of it. So now we're in new territory. Very sideways. Yeah, not much going on here. This could potentially turn into some kind of, M formation where we're going to do something like this and then continue down into this area, right? And something like that. So at this point, I'm really just seeing if this is going to play out like that. So far, we haven't been able to fall much further than here in the last, let's grab this ruler thingy here. So we're about here in the last like 19 hours. So we'll see what they choose to do. So for all of you folks who are trading at the super lower time frames, there is in this SR area, there's this break. Technically, if I'm going to be feeling like it's a break that happened up here, but my tool is telling me this is a break. I personally feel like it's happening up here, and this order block where we're kind of hanging out might have already been used. But we have tons of potential pain that we can play in with. So I'm just going to be watching. I've been watching to see what happens to this area here if they choose to turn this into a a resistance and a failed order block from my perspective and keep it moving. We made a lower high and a higher low, so for me to feel like it's going to come up here, I needed to break above this area and climb into this space. Now I need to be very careful because there's other order blocks up here, but no real imbalances. Yeah, no real imbalances. So we might be in a situation where we can start bouncing from this area back up to this SR area up here, but I'll be watching this natural supply area for a potential bounce down since we are potentially creating something of a, let's change the color on that. Let's make it orange. I can make it thick so I can see it. So we are potentially creating something like a little sideways like that, something like that. Maybe we could do like so. There's always so many ways to draw these things, right? So many ways to draw them, right? To make all the touches, or it could just be a flat bottom, in which case, I personally think it's dropping further. So I'll be setting two separate alerts and maybe waiting for it to come down into this area. So the last time it did, we look at this area right here on the 1 hour. It made a juicy looking morning star. And then voila, we popped back up. So, I'm going to try to be super patient and see if that's what it's going to do. If there's an opportunity for a short from here, then I'll try and take it into this area since we do know that there is this little imbalance down here to be messed with. There's even more of an imbalance past this area they've been kind of stalling at. So we'll see. And so with that in mind, I am going to go back down to 15 minutes on BTC. With that in mind, I'm going to set an alarm. So if they want to go back in here, I'm going to set an alarm for when they start popping into this imbalance up here. And then I'm going to set one if they bust back down into this area. And then I'm just going to leave it alone for now, Actually, if they bust past this area, because I want to see which way they're going to go. Okay. All right, let's see what ETH is doing. All right. So ETH has pretty much been trading between these two areas this whole time. I mean, look at it. Like it's entered that zone and it has not busted through. So I'm looking for a potential confirmation that it's going to continue back up. So we had one juicy one here, and then now we're kind of coiling down into that space, and there's this imbalance. It's eating, let's see, has it eaten all of it? Yeah, it's eating all of the imbalance. But there's this order block down here, which coincides perfectly. Let's add that in here. And it had the imbalance. It coincides perfectly with this area of support where it's been rejected from a few times so far. Not to say that it can bust through like it did before, because there is a juicy order block down here. But what I'm looking for is a long potential. And I spec this out from last night, I think. I'm looking for is a long potential from this area inside of this order block. And let's go down into like the 15-minute really quickly and see what this is looking like. So um, it actually came down and tapped my entry space. I didn't set any orders or anything like that. So the potential I'm looking for is like a double bottom, like a tap tap. So if it comes back down, taps it again, then I'll enter for with a target of this next SR area. And with any luck, that'll be like a 1 to 2.87. I might adjust to this area, this imbalance or something like that. But we'll see. Looks like we've got a lot of indecision right now in the markets, and it's super slow. So that's what I'm looking for. Hopefully that helps. And I like to draw out what I think is and let me adjust this a little bit. So I would like it to be a little higher on the area here so it doesn't bust below. It doesn't have to come all the way down here, and I might have to readjust my entries based off of what price shows me. But that's what I'm looking for. And I am setting myself an alarm. I have an alarm all the way down here. I'm gonna move it up a little bit to about there to see when price, let's save that. See when price comes back down up into this area. And it seems like it's just starting to coil back down. Oh, I apologize, my alarm just went off. Time to feed the kitty. But set an alarm to see what happens, and then I'll come back and test something else out. What's really great though is that for my demo trading account, BitGets has also added XRPs. I can start to do those too. But I'm only 4 trades away, y'all, from starting to actually use my real Mun. Yes, you heard me right. I said Mun. But anyway, um, let me know what you think about that. Drop a comment down below, please, for the love of everything. Hit the like button because why not, right? And let me know in the comments if this type of content helps you out. It definitely helps me to be more organized in the morning and follow my trade processes. But given that I am up this freaking early in the AMs because I went to bed super early because like I'm an old lady at times, I will be doing a backtesting vid pretty quickly after this one. All right, guys. Happy ooh, it's Thursday, which is almost Friday in my book. Shakira out.